Welcome to Thinking Re-envisioned with your host, Henry G. Noel. I guess you could say he's standing conventional wisdom on its head. Here's Henry.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Transitional Radio's Thinking Re-envisioned. My name is Henry G. Noel, and I am your host for Thinking Re-envisioned. We are here to make you think. We are here to make you question everything. I wish to thank you for joining me this evening, Sunday, and it is our 12th official episode. And if I can ask a favor, if I could get you to pass the word around and see about getting you to go into Transitional Radio YouTube channel. So, which the link was in the post announcing the show this afternoon. And this way we can go ahead and broadcast the rebroadcast of these shows by doing that. And I would appreciate that. Thank you. We are broadcasting live this evening from our Uplink studios in beautiful Cuenca, Ecuador. And it's been fabulous down here, 2 degrees south of the equator, where we are actually enjoying springtime. And so we're broadcasting live on IPMNation.com and Thinking Re-envisioned's Facebook and YouTube pages. So thank you. I wish to thank our listeners from all over the globe. And tonight I'm going to go through the list of those countries, but this will be for the last time. I'll only just be announcing those that actually sign on after this, because we've got 41 countries now. So starting tomorrow evening, I'll just be the places that have added to. So from the United States and Ecuador and Ireland and the United Kingdom, Colombia, Canada, New Zealand, the Philippines, Germany, Argentina, Mexico, the United Arab Emirates, Australia, Denmark, Peru, Bangladesh, Belgium, and Bulgaria, Switzerland and India, Kenya, the Netherlands, Pakistan, Uganda, Japan, Liberia, Malaysia, Thailand, Brazil, and tonight we add Puerto Rico, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Oman, Bahrain, France, Qatar, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Vietnam. So I want to thank everybody from all over the globe. Thank you for joining us. It's really a pleasure to have you. So if you're tuning in on the radio, live radio, I thank you for doing that. If it's on the rebroadcast, welcome to the show. And for you folks on Fly on the Wall video, I want to thank you again also for listening in. I also like to thank our good friends at Wirecast for, making it all possible for us to be actually broadcasting, live and globally. So to all of our listeners who wish to participate in this show, please email me at henry@henrygnoel.com. It is my wish to present a show where everyone can be as actively involved as they want. Now, we trust you've had a great weekend up to now, and I really do hope that you have, even though it's cold and snowy up there in the United States, where a lot of you are. But I want to go ahead and get into the thread and see what else on everybody's mind this evening. And so here we go. We'll go ahead and get into this. But thank you all for joining us. I really do appreciate you being here. So thank you very much. Joseph, welcome. John, it's good to see you. Candace, thank you very much. Hi, Matt. How are you? Welcome to the show. Really appreciate you joining in. And this evening I had posted on the link on the Facebook this morning, this afternoon, that we're going to talk about the control agenda. And whether or not you all feel like you are being controlled, number one. And if so, I'd love to hear your opinions as to how it is we are being controlled and what you think. And if you don't believe we're being controlled, I'd like to understand that too. So I'll open the thread to you guys to go ahead and bring up these ideas, because I think it's rather important to know where we are, how we're thinking. Do you feel like you are being manipulated? Feel like you're being controlled? Do you think that there's things going on that are causing us to be distracted from what is actually happening? Or is it just a conspiracy theory? That's some of the things I wanted to go ahead and talk about. Only because there's so much in the writings and the things that I'm working on that I would like to know what your opinions are. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to try to set it up so that we have more often than not, we have an open thread where, mostly almost make it like a free-for-all all the time. I'll put up a topic or a suggestion just to kind of get the brain cells working. And then if it's something that you want to talk about, that's great. If it's something different that you want to talk about, then we'll do that too. So I'm just trying to keep the doors wide open for y'all. And I think it also helps the folks on the radio when they're listening live on the radio or listening to the rebroadcast. It's I think it'll be a little bit more interesting to know that things are coming in from other people, and these are other people's opinions, not just mine. I mean, that's all. And so believe me, it's a lot easier to go ahead and sit here and field questions than it is to go ahead and just read off a dissertation to you on some topic and giving you my point of views of stuff without you having an opportunity to give feedback back and tell me that I'm absolutely crazy. I don't mind that. That's just fine. Something I've known most of my life, so it's nothing new to me. But it would be it's important that you get an opportunity to voice your opinions on these subjects. So if you have an opinion on whether or not you feel like that we are being controlled in this world, I'd love to know how you feel that we are. And if you don't believe that we are being controlled, I'd love to hear that too. I really would like to get a better information on that. So I appreciate it. Let's see. You control? Yes, you can. Thank you, Joseph. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you. Appreciate you being there. And so, yes, absolutely. We can actually control. We can simply not succumb to it. I mean, part of it is a realization. We either have to realize or accept the fact that we are being controlled or attempting to control us. Or if we don't believe we're being controlled, then there's nothing that we have to do about it. So that's why I was kind of curious as to what you all think. Good evening, Jenny. Welcome to the show. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. But yeah, so we're talking about control. Do you feel that the anybody, whether it's the government, whether it's religion, the religious institutions, whether it's the news, whether it's corporations, whether it's our parents, are we being controlled? And this is what would be very interesting to kind of cover. Joseph says as part of it is not to comply. Yes, absolutely, it's the not to comply. So if we believe there's an attempt to try to control us, then I agree, absolutely right. That we just simply have to realize it and not comply. But if we're of the mindset that, no, we're not being controlled, the government's not doing this stuff, the religious institutions aren't doing this stuff, the corporations aren't doing this stuff, Monsanto's not a big problem, that the big farmer is not an issue, then I'd love to hear those viewpoints too. So to me, it's just great to understand where you guys are coming from. It helps actually to cater the shows that way, so that you guys feel like you are, you're not being fed a bill of goods. If it's something that you're not believing, something that you're not into, something that is not that important to you as far as that, then I think that has to come out. We need to know that. John says civil disobedience, and I am a big affirmer of civil disobedience, because I believe that that's what needs to happen in order to get the point across, to get the words across, to get the understanding that we're just, well, as the movie network said, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And that's what we have to do. If we're going to get to the point where we can actually be in control, take control of our lives, then yes, I think we have to do that. We have to stand up and voice our concerns, our opinions, or at least understand what's being done and not fall and succumb to the mashugana that they're trying to preach to us. So yeah, I think it's important that we, if not so much take a stand on what it is that we believe, I think we have to take a stand for ourselves. And I think civil disobedience is the way we do that. That is one of our rights. At least we still have that right, I believe. I don't think they've eliminated it. So that's really what has to go. Connect with like-minded people. And Joseph, that is one thing to do. It really is. And I'm one, because I have very few people that I'm like-minded with. So I tend to have to realize that I am I'm on that outside. I'm on those outsides looking in, and so I often am in situations that are more confrontational because people don't believe or buy what I have to say. And so what I try to do is to let them understand that they have a voice, they have a right to have their opinion, and I sit back and I let them give me their opinion, and I do take that very, very serious. But I think there are also a lot of things that we are being controlled by, and that's what ends up happening is we just don't do the things that we really should be doing, or we should be standing up when at the wrong time, or the worst thing in the world is we react instead of act. We react, and that's where we lose it. So that's the things we have to watch out. Be educated on topics. Absolutely right, Joseph. And it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of research. Just don't believe what somebody tells you either on the television or what somebody tells you, at work. Like I said, my dad used to tell me constantly, Henry, believe half of what you read and believe nothing of what you're told. And so I've researched. I've had to learn how to research a lot. John says, redress your grievances with the state. Yes, let your point know, and let your congressman, your representatives know how you feel, because they have to understand what's going on in their local things. Jenny says, get into the arena and stand up together, or fall while we all complain in the stand. You're right, Jenny, that's absolutely true. And there is the issue. We don't do that. We are a voice, one voice amongst a bunch of people that don't agree with you, and you fall silent. It gets to be hard to do that. So, and Candace says, stand for what you believe, even if you're alone. And we do that. That's one of the things this show does, is we tend to be a lot alone in this. This is not your everyday show, and so we tend to do that. Joseph says, defend your cause. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely defend the cause. You have to, if you believe what you're doing, if you believe in what you're trying to do, if you believe that your things are not the way they're supposed to be, then you have to really redress it. You really have to redress it. Joseph said, defend your cause. Absolutely right. Jenny says, be willing to accept constructive criticism and grow from me. Yes. And that's, again, something that I do a lot of, because of the topic matter that I do talk about. It's not acceptable by a lot of people. And so that is what it's all about, it's really understanding that you got to pay attention to others. You got to listen to what they have to say, because, I can be wrong. I've been wrong a couple of times in my life, quite a bit, actually, probably more than I have hairs on my head. But we have to really understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, and stop falling victim to the garbage, the lies. That's not what we're here for. We are here to make a stand. We are here, regardless of where we are in the world. And I know there's governments that have a tremendous amount of control over the people, and the religious aspect have tremendous control over the people. And I feel bad for you living in those areas, because you have a right to think. You have a right to proclaim your vision, your belief, and it's stifling everyone in this world, and that's the problem. And the United States is no different. We have the First Amendment, which is supposed to be the free speech, the right to free speech. But we don't have that anymore. It really isn't. Now we have to be politically correct, and you can't voice your opinion now because of certain policies that have been passed. So if you a government policy comes through and you disagree with that policy, you voice your opinion about it, then you are dealing with fake news. And if you say that the policy is a lie, then now you're dealing with fake news, and you fall under the fake news portion of the defense budget. So it's really difficult to understand and watch these rights disappear on us. And that's what's happening. It is happening all over the world. It's happening in the U.S. right in your backyard. And so we have to pay attention, but we have to stand up wherever we can. Civil disobedience. We have to do this. Control. If we can't control our own life, then why are we here? Why stay? I mean, why be here? I mean, to me, it makes no sense. If someone else is going to control us, someone else is the one that's responsible to control us, then there's a problem. Then we have a major problem. And in the United States, of the people, for the people, by the people, if somebody is controlling you, then you don't have that of the people, by the people, for the people. It is by the controller, for the controller, and it's all about the controller. So we have to pay attention to what's going on and watch the actual activities that are going on. Joseph says sometimes we have to be willing to move or change venues. Absolutely true. Vote with your feet. A high tax area, move to a less tax area. Thank you, Joseph. Yep, that's why I live in Ecuador. I talked with my feet. Let's put it that way. I let my feet do the talking, and this is what we have to do. This is what the things that we have to really pay attention to. Is it difficult living outside the United States? Well, of course, especially having grown up there, spent the major majority of my life, and to have to adjust to different cultures, different language, to realize my children, my grandchildren are back still in the United States. Is it difficult? Of course it is. It's extremely difficult. But I did it anyway. And because I just disagreed with what was going on. And so I think it's important that we do stand up for ourselves. Lee Raleigh, welcome to the show. Lee, it's great to see you. Thank you. I love when that icon pops up. So yes, are we controlled? Yeah, I believe we are being controlled. And I think that's what's happening constantly. And there are so many methods with which we are being controlled. The whole thing that I worked on with problem resolution solution is a major way that we are being controlled. When they can present an issue that really isn't an issue, but they present it as an issue, we get all scared and fearful. And so we pay attention to what they have to say. We believe what they say without investigating it. We blindly follow it. Then they have this magical solution, this resolution to the problem that they present. And then all of a sudden, we have some other new law, new policy that now restricts us even further. So yes, I think this is what happens, and it routinely happens. And that's what we have to pay attention to. It's don't react. And that's the reaction thing. Don't just react because the government says something happens, or some preacher says something, or some corporate office, some corporation says something. Investigate it, and investigate it. My thing is, you don't react. Don't initially react. I watch stuff be posted on Facebook constantly, and all of a sudden there's this panic. And all you have to do is say, have you researched it? That shuts it right down. Oh yeah, forgot about that part. But in the meantime, it's gone on for hours of people of just ranting and raving about some circumstance that never was researched, and it's all bogus to begin with. So we have to do that. And we are our best guides. We are our best resource for doing this. We don't have to be told to go research something. We have to simply do it and understand it. Joseph says, don't be afraid of change. Be bold and confident in choices, but be educated and wise in your choices. Very good, Joseph. Thank you very much. I absolutely agree. The whole thing about having information, we can be reactionary. We can be very much aggressive and right in everybody's face. But if we're not right, then our credibility goes right down the tubes. So to me, like I said, I pushed that phrase out there. To me, having knowledge and not using it is foolish. But having knowledge and using it becomes wisdom. And that's what we have to do. We have to investigate. We can't just talk off the cuff because we have a feeling. We have to investigate it. And if we can be credible with ourselves, if we can actually find it and understand it and can show it, then boom, then we can lay it out there. John says, order followers are the most blanket. Yes, that's a blanket statement. The most morally corruptible. And that's it. And there are so many people. I mean, and I love Facebook for that reason, because there's so many people that just hear something from somebody else, and then they put it out there like it's gospel, and it's wrong. It's completely wrong. That's not what was done. And but they do it, and they do it routinely. And many times you see the same name come up. There's always the same people. Joseph says, bold in your choice to move way south. Thank you very much, Joseph. I appreciate that. Thank you. Believe me, it was not easy to do, Joseph. It was not. This was a very difficult choice for my wife and I to pack up everything that you know and move someplace that you don't even speak the language. It was a hard choice to make. And we went over it and over and over it many, many, many times. We had major conversations about it. And we just simply came up with a list of pros and cons. What do we gain by staying in the United States, and what do we lose? What do we gain by moving to Ecuador, and what do we lose? And we came up with far more things we lose by staying in the United States, and far more things we gain by moving to Ecuador. And this is what we did. So yes, it was months of thinking and planning and working to discover, is this really the thing we wanted to do? Is this really the way we want to go? So thank you, Joseph. I appreciate it. It was a very difficult decision to make, but we made it. Have you found the promised land? Every country in the world, Joseph, has problems. They all do. And it's just trying to find something or a place that is less problematic, I think would be the best way to go. But I believe it was the best thing we ever have done. I don't think if we had done anything different, we'd have lost this. We would have never been able to experience it. And we've been here for 6 years now. Oh, Rita, thank you, Rita. Appreciate it. Best move we ever made. Thank you. It changed us. I mean, and we had to come down here with the right attitude too. We had to leave all of our ways of thinking, our United States mentality. We had to leave it in the United States when we left. And when we came down here, we came here with a clean slate, open-minded, and we weren't going to compare. We did not want to compare one country to another. To me, that was just a disservice, one to ourselves, but it was a big disservice to both countries. And so this is what we did. Rita says that we have a life here that we would have never had in the States, and it's absolutely true. First of all, it is beautiful here. Yes, it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it is a beautiful country. I mean, we live in the Andes. We actually live in the mountains. It depends on which direction you go, but straight west, we are 5 hours from the coast. Straight south, we are about 2.5 hours, 3 hours from the coast. But we are 9,000 feet in altitude, surrounded by mountains that climb to 13,800 feet. So it's absolutely beautiful, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Joseph says that's the free spirit which makes us special. Thank you, Joseph. Yes, it is. And if we're afraid, to me, if we're afraid to take a chance like that, then we're afraid of everything. And I mean, I've had friends that have barely been out of the town they were born in, much less out of the state or the country. They barely left their town. And so, and many of them haven't, and they're still there. So it's really, it's a very adventurous spirit that you have to have. It really is. You got to be willing to risk everything to go someplace, but there's no fear involved. It's simply an adventure. It's an experience. It's something where we get to learn. And I think that's the key. It gives us an opportunity to learn firsthand rather than what somebody says on the news about Ecuador. Like I said, does it have its issues? Of course it does. All countries have their issues. There is, believe me, if there's a government involved, there's no perfect country. There just isn't. So it has its issues. But compared to the U.S. issues in the United States, no, not even come close. It's really, really there. Curious as to why. Why here, Candace? Oh, very good. Thank you. Hi, Marianne. Welcome. Because having researched it and looking at so many different countries as far as to go, this country stood out as a much more reasonable cost of living. The weather was far more consistent. We love the people. I mean, Quincanos especially. Quincanos have hearts as big as all outdoors, and and I'll tell you, it is just amazing. The people here are so warm. They are so friendly, and it is just amazing. And like I said, it's absolutely beautiful. A Spanish colonial type community, maybe 600,000 people. So the third largest city in Ecuador. And the two larger ones are 2.5 million in Quito and 3.5 million in Guayaquil. So 600,000 people in the third largest city in the country is really very pleasant. It's almost like a country town, a country city. So it's a beautiful place. But it was because of all of the things that we were concerned about, financial, the health-wise, the food is tremendously healthy here, much more organic. So these are the things that we took into account. So Wayne's giving me a signal here that I've got, yeah, I have a room for visitors. Yes, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, Wayne's telling me I have about 3 minutes. So absolutely. Yes, and we do have visitors that do come down and stay. So it's great. Hi, Joseph. I appreciate it. So yeah, we love it here. So yeah, but bring on your own bold. I mean, take your risks. Do the things that you really want to go do. Don't allow them to continue to control you. And God, enjoy your life. It's so short. It is so short to have it spent stressed. That just doesn't need to be there. No full hour today. No, sorry, John. We're going to be working on this. Brian and I are trying to work out a plan on how to schedule this. So we are going to go ahead and do that. But it's going to be a few days, I think, in order for us to get it all coordinated and figure out how to schedule it on the rebroadcast. So it will happen, but it will happen probably in a few days or so. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate the correspondence and the writing and the participation. This is what makes this show great, is the participation. I really appreciate it. And for you out there in radios, listen on radio, email me if you want to participate. I will write back. I will communicate with you. So I just want to say thank you so much. And we're going to do this every evening. This is how we're going to do it. I'll post what may be the topic, and we'll either stick with it or we won't. So it's whatever you guys really want to talk about is what we'll do and go through. And if there's anything that you specifically want to know about and you don't want to put it on the thread, then PM me and we'll deal with it. Dear God, I'm talking this tech talk. Private message me and we'll be fine. Anyway, I want to thank you all for a great evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for the participation. I really appreciate it. Love y'all. Hasta luego. We'll see you tomorrow evening, same time. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a great evening.